be the on top. Oh no man, I'll let you be the on top. Yeah, we don't want you be the on top. Deceiver man, let you be the on top. Yeah, we don't want you be the on top. If a roll, let you be the on top. Yeah, we don't want you be the on top. Oh, bon county. Now listen to me, my people. Listen to me. Let me tell you the story about Greedy Hunter. Hey! He passed the royal line to the people. The people told you are wicked, we now believe it. Now you are proving yourself. Give the people chance, Greedy Hunter. Right now. If they will be in the middle of the night, I had a dream. Then I saw Poncante crying. Go and tell my people, go and tell them I'm crying. Because the leader for the each other. I'm crying so much. Then I wake up in the middle of the night. Then I call my beautiful wife. I said, comfort the land. I had a dream, baby. I saw Poncante crying, say, the leader for the did not call my little son. I said, Jenny, don't sack me. Do not be like that, Peter.
Okay. Welcome, folks. Welcome to the show again. Welcome to Talk TV Media Politics, weekly politics recap here at Talk TV Media Network. Y'all man Sam Gadu, CEO himself today. Yeah, normally I would dress a whole lot more well-looking, formal in my suits and stuff, but today, it's weekend, Saturday, a lot of sport activities taking place, football, the World Cup, American football, so I just jump right into the studio. Howbeit, a lot to talk about today. Politics here at Talk TV Media Network. Those of you watching, those of you who will come and watch the video, welcome to the show. Today is the 17th of December, 2022. And we are here to talk about all the happenings, the events that took place today. CPP, rally just ended. And we want to talk about it, and this is where all of you can come in and contribute. We've seen a lot of stuff, events, media platforms or network, even our own platform was able to cover the event there at Samuel Kanyondo complex today. And so we want to talk about that. That's one area we will touch. Also, the president of Liberia, President George Weah, is gearing up to head back home finally after 7 weeks of visit. So the president is finally heading home. We want to see if the president's visit for the 7 weeks was a success or a failure. We want to know about it. And this is where we want you all to come in and contribute as well. Also, the World Cup today, third play qualifier. We want to talk about that as well. Today, Morocco lost today to Croatia 2-1. But then we'll handle that last minute, the last part of this segment, because we want to see if Morocco caused their own defeat, right? Because I was rooting for Morocco and they could have easily won that. But that wasn't the case. I think they played more the own games than this last game today. Their morale was a little, but they need to walk out with their heads up high because this is the first ever African team that made it to the semifinal, right? So we will talk about that. That's one topic we will be talking about touching on. Also, we'll be talking about the county meet. The county meet starts today. It's launched today, Grand Bassa, and soccer is about to be played too. All the counties in Liberia and then everything will be climaxed in Monrovia. So we'll talk about that as well. Another thing we'll be talking about is as the president returns, people are tripping in. The seditions are gearing up to welcome their leader at the Roberts International Airport tomorrow. Um, is it worth going to welcome him? How good is the Roberts Fee International Airport or the road that leads to the airport since the construction of the road has begun? How good is it? Is it bad enough uh, to not have too many people go out there? But this is how we're going to do it, and this is how we're going to roll. I'll be back after this break.
Live by your word, be the hunter. We don't want you be the hunter. Oh no man, I'll let you be the hunter. We don't want you be the hunter. Deceiver man, let you be the hunter. We don't want you be the hunter. If a roll, let you be the hunter. We don't want you be the hunter. Le, 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 le. Oh, bon county. Now listen to me, my people. Listen to me. Let me tell you the story about freedom hunting. Hey! He passed the royal line to the people. Yeah. The people told you are wicked, we never believe it. Now you are proving yourself. Give the people chance, be the hunter. Right now, if you're okay, is right. In the middle of the night, I had a dream. Then I saw Poncante crying. Go and tell my people, go and tell them I'm crying. Because the leader for the each other. I'm crying so much, so much.
All right. The leaders are fighting each other for power, power greed, power struggle. This is what's happening around the globe. Leaders are fighting for power. Power, power, power. Everybody wants to be in power. You know, and I don't know why everybody most people, especially our African leaders, are so greedy for power. But God made every man to be a leader. You know, every man is a leader in his own domain. So why fight each other when it comes to power struggle? Power struggle. So this is what we are talking about today. So today we are talking about power. We tire rally held by CPP to end suffering in Liberia today. Took place. Want to hear your perspective? The number is right there. We're going to open the lines right away because today is free flow. Right there, we're flowing in. So you can call in on the number on the screen, especially those of you WhatsApp callers, USA callers, you can call in and make your comments. We'd love to hear from you. Was today's rally, in the first place, a success or a failure? We've seen other rallies in the past, and we saw what led to this one. You know, we saw the faces of Louis Brown from the onset. You know, calling on along with the CPP, this party, and it became an issue, as in no one is allowed to have a party or rally except when they get permission from the government. But then the good thing is people realize that as citizens of a nation, the people have the right to protest. The people have the right to speak to their government. And this right is enshrined within the Constitution, especially the Liberian Constitution. And so all these hooligans, all these seditions and party politics, you know, the threatening other people, Liberians, as to not being able to exercise their inalienable rights was just so ridiculous, right? And that's why education is key. No, you got to read. If you don't read, you won't know your constitution. You don't know your basic human rights. You know, you would think everything. You end up begging people when you think something. Uh, uh, you have a right to something. So we saw a demonstration when Louis Brown was at the station, our sister stations, that night. Protesters went in there to cause mayhem and trouble. Thankfully, the Liberian government police force intervened that night. But when I look at all the scenario that led to the rally today, it's just ridiculous. It is the right of the people to protest. If the people feel disenfranchised by their government, it is their right to speak up to the government, right? We've seen other protests in the past that end up in chaos. That was my only concern because no one is stopping you from having a protest. No one is stopping you from having a rally. But you have to respect the other rights of the other citizens as well, those who are in support of the government, those who are going about their normal business, right? That is all my concern was. But if it was peaceful, as we saw today, it is every Liberian's right. Liberians gather, those who have come on share identities and share feelings of what the Weah-led government is doing or has done for the past 6 years. They wanted to speak up. And thanks to the Liberian government for securing that, for making sure that that protest, that rally was possible today, took place. Because we live in a democratic nation. This is democracy. You know, this is democracy. So now that we saw a whole part of the rally today, the biggest question that comes to mind is, was the rally successful? Did it accomplish the agenda for which? Was it just a show to showcase Alexander Cummings, candidate Alexander Cummings? These are the questions that linger. These are the questions that people are asking. Was it inclusive enough, or was it just to showcase, to support, one person for the 2023 general election, who is Alexander Cummings? More or less, that caricature was highly political. That's how I see it. It was highly political. Because when we look at the one that was held back by the then CPP, that was huge, and some part of it was chaotic. But all Liberians, majority of Liberians, both young, old, were in attendance. But this one was not that close. So my question is the Liberian government, did it have enough impact for the Liberian government to listen? And my question to the Liberian government is, it doesn't matter whether they had enough people or impact. If one citizen speak and submit that petition, it is your job to listen. And that is what I will caution the Weah-led government to do. Leaders must listen to their citizens. Leaders must learn to listen. The problem we've always had with African leaders is, our own African leaders, is they don't listen. And we are the one that put them in power. We are the one that employ them for the job. But African leaders do not listen to their people. If they listen, they will do so much. Listening to the crowd, listening to the opposition is a key to success. Listening to to your opposition is a key to a successful government. Very important. So I hope the Liberian government, the Weah government, is listening, and not just listening, but take key note, key advice of those things that are important for that are in the best interest of the country. That is what should be done. That is what should be done. Hey, my boy right there, English writers, welcome to the show today. Welcome to the show. Here we are, Mamadou, Dieta, welcome to the show as well. All of you watching today, welcome to Talk TV Media Network. So, when you look at the entire conglomeration of the CPP today, and you see how everything was crafted, one may ask, was it successful or was it a failure? These are the questions that comes to mind. Because we saw on the stage few leaders. Louis Brown was there, he spoke. Alexander Cummings was there, he spoke. Hassan Bility, in fact, Hassan Bility petitioned the presidency to, it was more or less political as well, talking about electing Cummings for 2023. So if they were talking about Cummings for 2023 during this rally, what would have happened if the other opposition parties were there, like the Unity Party? What could have happened if Joseph Numa Boakai was there today? Because they were showcasing the CPP leader. What could have happened? This is my concern. Because Unity Party folks, we didn't see them. They were not there. There are other political leaders, parties, opposition political parties that were not there. So was it inclusive to the point where we can say Liberians are speaking with a more vigor voice, more forceful voice? That is what I'm looking at. I'm trying to dissect this entire rally. And that's why we, as an independent network, do not take sides. That's why from the onset, I always spoke and I said the Liberians have the right to speak up to their government. So all that nonsense the Liberian people or government was trying to impede, the city mayor, Koji, was trying to get into and stuff, stop it. All that chaos. This is a democratic nation. People have the right to exercise, to assemble, as long as it is peaceful. As long as it is peaceful. That's it. So, the people have their rally today. They assemble. We saw people trooping in, and from gatherings and sources we heard, they pay people to come over there today. They pay most of the people today. In fact, some of the things that some of us were hearing, sources that I gathered there, like some of the people didn't get their money, they were crying. Some of those people that trooped in that were there, some of them wanted their pay. After the program, they said, my man, and I get my own money here, I hear. And I get some of the groups were crying. So what's going on? What's going on? That is a question that goes to the leadership of the CPP. What's going on? You're paying people to come and show up in numbers to troop people in. That's politics. We understand how it goes. But if you're going to give people money for attending a rally, pay them. Pay them. Because people were grumbling, people were complaining. That's the fact. Folks, the lines are open. You can call in at 535-525-1552. Those of you here in the US or in Europe, those of you who are on WhatsApp as well, you can call the same number 539-525-1552. Again, today is politics. My name is Sam Gadu. I'm going to briefly take a break, bring you some songs, bring you a commercial as well, and we will move on to the next one. As the president ends his 7 week of travel around the world, what's in it for the Liberian people? What's in it? Is it a success? We want to know. Liberian people want to know, because everything was done at the expense of the Liberian people's money, taxpayers' money. So the people have the right to know. Liberians have the right to know. I'm going to take a quick break, and I'll be right back. Okay, folks. So I'm gonna give you just a little bit of music here. Yeah, that's how we roll here. Politics, talk politics. We talk in the best interest of the Liberian people. Here at Talk TV Media Network. Be the hunter, give us time. We don't want you to be the hunter. This man let you be the hunter. Give us time. We don't want you to be the hunter. Give a roll let you be the hunter. Give us time. We don't want you to be the hunter. Oh, bon cante. Now listen to me, my people. Listen to me. Let me tell you the story about a video on this. Hey! He passed the royal line to the people. Oh, Greedy Hunter. Greedy Hunter, give a chance. Give a chance. 2023 coming. Y'all get the people a chance. The people that have the love of the country at heart, y'all give them chance. The people that have Mama Liberia in their heart and are willing to deliver, y'all give them chance. The greedy hunter, then y'all get out of the way. You know, self-aggrandizement, misappropriation of people's funds, state resources. Get out of the way. That's it. Y'all get out of the way. If y'all can handle it, y'all leave it. You can't stand the heat in the kitchen. Get out. Running a government is not a small boy thing. It's not. It's not a poor boy thing either. And this is where I come up with the next topic about the president's visit to the U.S., right? Was it a success or not? Was it in the best interest, very best interest of the Liberian people? We want to know, right? We want to know. We see pictures of the president's visit in different countries. There was a huge rigmarole when he ended up in Qatar and all of that. But then, where the entire trip began, it clouded the trip, brought a huge cloud over the president's trip. There's nothing wrong. Like I said, we are an independent network and we look at issues from a very independent standpoint. There's nothing wrong with the president of a nation traveling overseas. What is wrong is not being accountable to the very people that hire you, that put you in place, telling them how long you're going for, what's the resources are using, how much is it, the entourage that you are carrying along. We want to know. Because everything is at the expense of the taxpayers' money, the Liberian people money, the nation's resources. There's nothing wrong with the president traveling. Oh, I tell people that. There was nothing wrong. If I were president, could I have gone for 7 weeks? No, I would do things differently. Maybe I would have, leave the country for maybe a month. No, not month, maybe 1 or 2 weeks and come back. And then my son is playing and just go in again, see him play, 1 or 2 games and come back to the next trip to the US that he just ended. But for a president of a nation to leave the nation for 7 weeks, that's dangerous. Even though it could be in the best interest of the nation. But the helm of power, the seat of power, this is Africa, man. This is not Western world. Governments have been overthrown all over the place. Chaos. You in the country, they overthrow you. Then you leave the country for 7 weeks. You can't do that as a leader. You can't. But, we see a lot of folks are only focusing right now on the last visit the president made here in the U.S. And I will point it out to you. What about the rest of the 5 weeks or 6 weeks that the president was in other countries? We want to know what happened there. We just do not only want to know what happened here in the U.S., right? That is the essence. And here, this is what happened. So we have the president had a visit with President Joe Biden. Here is a picture, Liberian president. Where it shows the U.S. president of free, fair, and transparent elections. And this is it. And where is another picture? Do I have that? No, I think this is all I have. There are other pictures online that are flying all around online. And this, let me see. Which one is it? Oh, this is the CPP rally today. This is the CPP rally today, as you can see. This one. I forgot to put that up earlier. But that's the CPP rally as well. Was it a success or failure? The people wanted to gather and sit and speak to their government. And if I was the government, I would have sent government representative, my own voice, over there to receive their petition. That's what you do as a nation. You send leaders when there's protests going on. Send your government officials. Say, my man, y'all go over there. Send those in charge, the agencies. Go and receive the people petition. The people speaking, go receive the petition. Because when you do that to the opposition, you build up a good sense of governance around you as a government, as a leader. That means you are tolerant. You are able to tolerate other people's views. We're not talking about Zogos coming over there to disrupt and other stuff. Anybody coming to disrupt my peace at my house is infringing on my right, and I will defend myself. When you're out in the street, it's a different thing. It's a government responsibility. That's how it is, right? So forward, fast forward. Let's go to the president's visit, travel. He returns tomorrow. The president returning tomorrow, and we're hearing that there is word going around for people to gather to be able to meet the president at the Roberts International Airport tomorrow in huge, large numbers. If I Camille, your father now travel out of the country. He coming home. Something heavy in the bed, the children running towards it. Say, Papa Nakam, Papa Nakam, Papa Nakam. Our part Nakam. That's what they want to do tomorrow. Our part Nakam. Is it a good thing? You see, when you look at the Robert Free Highway, it's in complete disarray. Work begun. We are believing that our work should have been done by now, but there are death traps along the road. If you're driving, you're not smart, you don't look, you will end up in a ditch. What is the government doing with that? The Roberts Free Highway. The people, the companies that were being hired are not capable to finish to complete the job. Because it is not a small job, it's a major, major highway. That is the gateway to our economy as well. First impression when anybody lands in Liberia, major airport, that's the first thing. The roads that leads to town. It's not a bad idea to fix the road, to put that four lane over there. It's not a bad idea. But my thing is, get the right expertise to finish that, to get it done right, to avoid the death traps. We saw this year vehicles falling in the waters, in the ditches, pool of water. Dangerous. And people speed on that road. People run. With this kind of death trap set up, it's dangerous. So people who drives over there, drivers, night drivers, be cautious. Be careful how you drive on Roberts Free Highway. Right? So the old man coming tomorrow. And then seditions are also planning a Weah second term rally. That's what we heard. What do you guys think about that? Is it a good idea? Supporters of the Weah-led government, the one George Weah there for a second term, giving him another 6 years, which is almost 12 years, like that of former President Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. 12 long years. Number one, I have problem with the term, the term of the presidency, period. I have a big issue with that. That's my opinion, personally. If we have a model after that of the U.S., the form of government, I think the presidency should be at least for 4 years or at most 5. Even 5, I wouldn't even 4. Because African people, African leaders are greedy. We put you there for 4 years. If you don't do well, you come down. For 6 long years? And if someone wins, it is tyranny and bad governance, and that person wins the second term, guess what? They're there for 12 long years. If they want to sit and suffocate the government, its people, and steal the resources, it will easily be done, just like that. Just like the corruption that we are seeing that are taking place in government agencies in the country, with people going with no impunity, not being penalized, not being locked up for stealing. If a government official, a big man steals, they say he embezzles. He misappropriated government funds. When a small man go and steal at a lower office, they say the man are roll. The man stealing. The man are roll. But you're the big shot them when you're stealing, you say that misappropriation of government funds. The man embezzle. It's the same thing. It doesn't matter what position you hold. You roll, you roll. You steal, you're a thief. You take what doesn't belong to you, you're a thief. That's it, folks. Let's quit sugarcoating things around here. Don't give credence to corruption. Don't sugarcoat it. So leaders must be held accountable by those they lead in all facets of society. Leaders. It is the job of leaders to be held accountable, be it in a church, be it in a political setting, be it in any grouping, no matter what. If you're a leader, you must be held accountable. That's it. It must be held accountable. And I tell people, don't put poor people in government. Do not elect poor people in government. And that is the biggest issue with our African governments. And the electorates, this goes to the electorates. Do not put poor people in government. Poor people do not run government. Someone poor, they don't have anything. Then you elect them because they get high enough because they can talk. They get high enough. When you put in that person become a thief. You do not elect people because they get high enough. They can talk. Look within communities and see citizens that are developmental, that have love and are making development and strides in communities or in the nation, and elect them. But the number one mistake, especially those of us Liberians and other governments and nations around the world, around Africa does is we elect poor leaders, people in government. When you elect a poor person, individual in government, you set him up for failure. I gave you an instance. Look at the U.S. Senate, a government style system. These people that are in government, serving the United States Senate or other representatives, other agencies, they're not poor people. My reason for that is if someone cannot handle $5,000 or on their own, they're not even able to get $5,000 US. Let me bring it down. They're not even able to handle $1,000 or $2,000. Then you take the country's resources or an agency, $10,000 US in their hand, manage it. You are sending that person, that poor guy or that poor lady, crazy. Someone who has not handled that much money. Someone has to be tested. That's it. Like remember, they'll go abo, greedy. They'll go crazy because someone who hasn't handled 5,000, then you go give them 10, 15, or $20,000 to handle, they'll go crazy. And that is the mistake we make as Africans. That is the mistake we make as Africans. We elect poor people in government. If I'm a millionaire and I'm in the House of Representatives, I'm a millionaire. Can anybody bribe me for $5,000? No, you can't. I tell you what. If you look in the U.S. Senate, you have. Let me point out just one person, Senator Mitt Romney. This guy is a billionaire. He's a senator. He's a billionaire. He got stores all over the U.S. investments. He's a senator. You can't bribe him with $1 million. No, you can't. You can't. He's only there to set a legacy. He's only there. When you elect a rich person in government, that person has character. That person, the only thing he's after is his good name because he already has money. All he wants is his good name. And when he's looking for a good name, he's going to do things that are in the best interest of his constituency. Oh, all over the country, we see the biggest mistake we make is we're looking for poor people to run our lives. That's what we do. We're looking for poor people to run our lives. We need to quit that concept. That's the first concept we need to let go. For real. What Ben say? Ben Jassel. Let me see. Let me bring him up. Ben say if we elect President Weah for second term comes 2023, we will eat sand. That's all, guys. They always saying, "Hey, oh, y'all know who y'all elect." You know, it is the right to vote. That is a sacred decision you have to make when you go to the ballot box. In your heart, nobody will know. Then you elect whoever you want to elect. You know, so election is very key. You cannot, someone cannot come to you and give you a bag of rice to elect them, put them in power for 6 years. Because they're telling you, I'll give you a motorcycle, go vote for me, or a bag of rice. But put me in office for 6 years. You know what you're telling them? For 6 years, what they're going to be doing? I don't even know how much bag of rice they're going to get. You're telling them you're putting them in there for. And that is the mentality we as a people, we as Liberians need to change. Do not vote for food or material thing. It's not smart. If someone gives you a bag of rice to vote, I want Liberians to be aware, abreast to the issues of the day and elect the right leaders. That is what we ought to do as a people. When you go to the ballot box, know the issues. Don't be emotional about it. Don't vote for someone because your friend is voting for that person. Read between the lines, or because someone gives a bag of rice, or a keke, or a motorcycle. If they give it to you, I'm not telling you shouldn't take it. Take it, but you know how to vote. When you get there, it's a secret ballot. You know who to vote for. You eat the rice, ride a bicycle, or the motorcycle they gave you, but go vote the opposite way because nobody sees you. That's being smart. That's being smart. Because we need to send strong message to our leaders, our politicians, that we're not stupid. We, the electorate, we are not stupid. We need to send that kind of message. When somebody's sharing money all over the place or whatever, y'all get the money, eat it. The next time when they lose one, they lose two, then they will get the right message. That's what we ought to do, my people. That's what we ought to do. Okay. That takes me to the next topic. Yeah, that just took place recently. All Liberians were up and down screaming about a jet. You know, George Weah is flying with. And weeks after that, we saw former Vice President Joseph Boakai in Nigeria on a jet. But then I asked myself, looking between the issues, I said, what is wrong with that? Because it became a big issue. That the opposition party, the largest opposition party, the Unity Party in the country, leader is being given a lift. That's how we call it. He was given a lift by someone he was going to go visit. If you are coming to visit me in my country, this is my country, and I have access to transportation. What is wrong with me sending one of my vehicles at the airport to pick you up? In fact, if you are my friend, my best friend, I will send you my best car, vehicle. So I see it like that. with what happened with JMB. Contacts, connections. And this should tell Liberians, the leaders you put in power should have connections. Period. Not someone you pick from a village that has no international connections, that has no understanding of how the world runs. That is the point. If you put leaders in place that have no international understanding of how the world economy runs, you doomed. That's why the electorates need to understand whom you put in power. Right? You got to have connections. What message is JMB and the Union Party sending? There's nothing wrong. You come in to visit me, you won't get a car. And in my country, you come and visit me, I send a car for you. Or I send a jet to fly you in to bring you. What's the big deal? What's the big deal? The opposite, the difference with that of President Weah is the father of the nation right now. He runs the country. Right? He runs the country, and if he's transparent, and there's nothing wrong with him flying the country owning a jet, an airplane to fly for the president, because we don't want our president flying in old jets, and then when it crashes, we lose a leader. It brings a political crisis. See? So there's nothing wrong. But what's wrong with that is accountability, transparency. If the government is flying first class and they're flying the chartering jets, the Liberian people want to know, yeah, is it at the expense of our taxpayers' money? How much is it? We want to know if you're making good financial decisions for the country. We want to know, because when you do that, the citizens will be able to see if they can elect you, re-elect you. That is the importance of that. If people are able to just exercise transparency and show it, the people that elect you and put you in power are okay to see what's happening. They will put you back there. But when you surround yourself in a cocoon like a cave and nobody can get in, nobody sees what goes on the inside, you set yourself up for failure. And this is the problem with our African leaders. This is the problem. The funny thing there is our leaders travel across the world in other countries and they see the prosperity of those nations, of those countries. And they come back and live in the same slums. And they see their people struggling. Garbage all over in the street. No safe drinking water. All of that. But you travel in a nearby country and you see, as a leader, you ask yourself, what is it that my friendly nations, my counterparts, my colleagues are doing different that we are not doing? These are important questions that you should ask, that our leaders need to be asking. What is it that Ghana is doing different, that is making them and putting them on the world stage, that we are not doing? What is it that Ivory Coast is doing that we are not doing? These are the things that we ought to ask. These are the questions we should be asking. These are the questions. What is it? You travel, you come to America, you ask yourself, what is it that the American government is doing that we are not doing? And you are in power. You have the power and the resources available to you to change, to make good of a nation. You have that authority. Money is coming in a country. Maritime alone, when you look at maritime alone in Liberia, that's one of the gateway to Liberia's economy. That's one of the gateway to Liberia's economy. Maritime. So, as leaders, our leaders need to ask the hard questions. Leaders, you must ask the hard questions. What is it that other nations that you travel into and sleep in their luxury hotels, you know, VIP escorts, that you are not doing when you have the same money and the power is in your hand to do it, but you fail to do it? Instead, when you get sick, you travel overseas for treatment to a nation, to another friendly nation nearby. When you have the doctors, the expertise with you, and all we need is a facility, modern facilities. JFK. JFK is one of those institutions that other people used to leave, other African countries used to leave to come to seek medical advice, to get treated. That's what used to happen. But now, tell me which government official will get sick in that country there and go lay down to JFK. Let me see it. With all the little donation and it can be making over there. And that donation we need will give you power to revamp the nation's major hospital and other institutions that are important to Liberians. The healthcare sector, the educational. That is why the Liberians put you in power. Right? So my question is, what should we do as a people come 2023? 10 months from now. Yeah. 10 months from now, Liberians will be able to decide if George Weah should have another 6 years, making him 12 years, or should they have a new leader and see what direction the nation is going to go again. That is your inalienable right as a Liberian. That is your inalienable right as a Liberian to vote, to register and vote. If you don't trust any of the political parties, register as an independent. You can register as an independent and go to the ballot box and vote whom you choose. And go to the ballot box and see which independent candidate that you can elect. Serve yourself justice and conscience within yourself that I voted. That's it. That's it. And another thing, though, I'm going to point out here before I take leave of you guys is this. Our fathers, our older leaders, our older generation need to realize that when they serve the nation, and at a certain point in time, step aside. Step aside and nurture and bring a young person who is vibrant, who has the exuberance and the energy. But our old people, man, our culture is in ground that you dare as an old person to run a ministry, you will never train somebody to come up and step up. You want to die inside because the mindset is they feel that okay, if I let somebody, a young person, run it, they're not going to run it right. How are they going to run it right? And now, instead of you sitting aside and say, my son, run it. Where you make mistakes, come to me. In fact, the best people that should be getting the best of honor in life in that nation should be people who step aside, older people who have served long enough and have decided to step aside and become a wise counsel. Become a wise counsel. I respect people like that. I don't take, if I have kids, I have boys as a father. I don't expect to the life I'm giving them now, working in my youth, to keep doing that the rest of my life until I die. I must train them to take over. And when the time comes, the right time, you move, step aside as a father. Say, my son, take over and run. I have taught you well. If you need further advice, I'm here. Our older generation, our African leaders need to understand that. Step aside. When you serve for so long in government, you become a resource. You become a resource, an encyclopedia for advice, for counsel, wise counsel. That is what we ought to do. But folks, that's how we're going to do it today for the politics. But before I take leave of you, I want to talk about sports. You know, we have the county league, the county meet is coming up. Actually, it just got formally launched today in Grand Bassa. So I just wanted you guys to know about that, the county meet. And, you know, I think Lofa is going to get this thing. Oh, I think Lofa will get this thing this year. You know, Lofa Kante. When Lofa Kante coming, I'm looking for the Lofa Kante song. Yeah, that's why I want to play the Lofa Kante song. When Lofa Kante in town. Yeah. When Lofa Kante in town. Enjoy. Yeah, folks. The counter meet. It's official. But Jama, the lion coming again, oh, this year. Ready, you see people ready, fella people ready, ready. Our people ready, man. Our people ready. Tom Kante, Nima Kante, we're coming for y'all. Yeah, all the Nima Kante, we're coming for y'all this year. Yeah, Grand Bassa, we're coming. All of y'all now go Monserrat, we're coming for y'all. All of y'all. Yeah. So we're ready. We're ready for y'all. Y'all will know this year. You know. So this is what's going to happen. Because we're ready. Folks, this is how I take leave of you guys. The show is over. And I am very grateful for you all for being a part of the show, for joining us today. Tomorrow we'll be here. Tomorrow, Sunday, we'll bring you the gospel hour here tomorrow. We'll be bringing you the gospel hour tomorrow here. Talk TV Media Network, 2 p.m. Um, Central Standard Time. So thank you for being part of the show. And my name is Sam Gadu. I have been your political anchor today. And I hope that whatever I said today made some sense to all of you when it comes to governance, when it comes to our leaders, when it comes to free speech, the right to gather, to speak to your government. It is your job. That is what we ought to do as a people. That is what we do as a nation. The right to liberty, freedom, and that liberty and that right and that privilege should not be taken away. It should not be taken away from us by anyone. It should not be taken away from you by anyone. The right to gather, to speak to your government. Remember, the people that we put in government, the people that we serve, that serve in government, they are our leaders, but technically, we are the leaders because we put them there. Without us, they won't be there. We employ them. When you go to work for somebody, someone employ you. Those of us who go to the ballot box to vote, we own the company, and that company is called Liberia. So when we employ you to work for Mama Liberia, you must be accountable. Don't sit there and think that you know that your power farm, or that your ma farm, or that your own farm. No, it's the people's farm. Respect that. When you change your mindset as a leader, when you shift your mind, your thinking from that perspective, you become a good leader. And what we need is good leaders. We want good leaders, not bad leaders. We want leaders that can be held accountable. We want leaders that love their people, that love the country and have the country at heart. We want leaders who will invest in the country their resources, not make money and take it out of the country to go make other countries look beautiful, build huge in foreign countries. No, you leave your own people suffering. You know, no electricity, no good houses, and you take all the money, you go develop other people, somebody else's nation, someone else's country. That is stupid. That's the least I can say, and I will take leave of you. As leaders, look within. Look within. The love of country must be there first. When you have the love of country, you want to stay there. You want your resources there to develop. Stay with you. Don't take it foreign countries. You take money in a foreign country, you go bank it somewhere else. You know you're enriching that country. That's what happens. You're making that country prosperous. That's what happens. But anyway, folks, this is how we do it. I will catch you here tomorrow. At the same time, Lucky Shango, where are you? Again. Football. Counter me. Thank you. Stay safe. Stay out of trouble. I'll catch you tomorrow. Right here. Same time. Same place. I want Liberian no star, I want to follow players. I want Liberian no star, I want to follow players. I want Liberian people reach you success. I want Liberian people reach you success. Oh no, I have to say this. I just said goodbye, but I had to say it just came. Tomorrow is the World Cup final. Tomorrow, World Cup final. Argentina and what? France. Big game. Big day tomorrow. World Cup final. Argentina and France. Mbappe and Messi tomorrow. We'll bring you the highlights here at Talk TV Media because I'll watch it. Hey, I don't know. A confession. I don't know if I will go to church tomorrow. I want a confession there. Thank God for internet churches. Work out tomorrow. It will not be easy. My people, Mbappe. But man, I'm rooting for Argentina because I want Messi to carry it. Messi will. This probably is going to be Messi's last World Cup. He has earned enough in his career. The only thing that's left is the World Cup trophy. I can't wait tomorrow to see Messi hold that trophy up like this. I love France. I love how they play. I love Mbappe. But he young. He just turned 20. He got many, many years ahead of him to win more trophies. So let's give it tomorrow to Messi. All right? Okay, folks. You take care. Have a good one.